proud pupil of Edison education system. As a child, he spent hours upon hours, almost obsessively constructing what he considered to be works of art out of Lego blocks, a hobby that fueled his desire to pursue engineering. Justin also adopted a caring personality, taking care of his friends in trouble and sister in tears, an attitude that inspired his intrigue in medicine. And in middle school, Justin joined the John Adams Middle School Bel Canto, and in high school, the John P. Stevens Chamber Singers, and found his passion for music, a love that he hopes to share with the world, or at least his future family. Using the skills he has honed over the years, Justin has sang on weekends to raise funds for senior scholarships, entertain families at Christian parties, and bring joy to senior citizens. He has facilitated the learning of Chinese at Union Chinese School. He has also taken his first humble steps in medicine by volunteering at Raritan Bay Medical Center.
Good morning. I would like to thank the Edison Rotary Club, the John P. Stevens administration, my parents, and my teachers for hosting such a wonderful event this morning, for nominating me for such a great award, for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself, and for guiding me and setting me on the right path. However, let it be known that this award does not mark the end of selflessness, but rather a milestone in what I hope will be a lifetime selfless vocation. I still remember the moment when I wanted to become a doctor. Admittedly, having a father who was a nurse practitioner in a cardiac catheterization laboratory, although a surgeon at heart, and a mother who was a registered nurse in the Big Apple, did play a big role in this career choice. However, it was my grandmother who finally, though indirectly, encouraged me to pursue a degree in medicine. While I was growing up, my parents worked very hard to maintain a comfortable lifestyle for our family. This usually entailed working late nights and weekends. Regardless of their back-breaking work ethic, I never felt abandoned. I knew I could always count on two things: my grandmother and cartoons. As a child, I loved cartoons. My favorites were the ones with superheroes, men and women with extraordinary abilities protecting the ordinary people. However, one man stood out: the Cape Crusader, Batman. The Cape Crusader enthralled me not because of his money or his costume, but because of his determination to make a difference as an ordinary man. I realized that if I was selfless, I could be a superhero. But no matter how much I liked Batman, I always loved my grandma. Having lost her leg in a tragic accident in the Philippines, she, fashioned with a prosthetic leg, often hobbled around the house, desperately trying to keep up with my frightfully youthful energy. From playing games of hide and seek to reading me bedtime stories, I knew I could always count on my grandma to provide for my most trivial, whimsical needs. That is, until the dementia set in. When I was about 13, I began to notice the warning signs. Not everything was right with my grandma. She began to lose her short-term memory. Balance and coordination required her utmost focus. She began to fuse Tagalog, the language of the Philippines, and English to a fairly cohesive amalgamate, rarely comprehensible even to my dad, her only son. The doctors confirmed her greatest fear. Her mind was deteriorating. Worst of all, there was nothing modern medicine could do to counter this physiological onslaught, but stall the decay, delaying the inevitable. I was crushed by this heavy burden, the burden of having to watch someone I loved slip through my fingers, desperately trying to reach them, to catch them, to hold them, but grasping even less than air. The time had come. It was time to become a doctor, to metamorphose from the ordinary man to the extraordinary. The road ahead of me is long, 7 to 8 years, and treacherous, filled with tests, both academic and social. I yearn for the day when I can be the doctor to perform those life-saving procedures, to diagnose rare disease that ravage small towns, to vaccinate a young child against his wishes, but for his own good. And perhaps one day, I can treat a grandmother with dementia, and spare another family the turmoil of watching a loved one crumble into mental oblivion, to bring a loved one back into the warm embrace of family and friends. Perhaps one day, I too can be a superhero.